Hey y'all, happy Monday. So we are headed into a fresh week, a new start. I hope it's going to be a good Monday for you. I hope that you are hopeful of the days ahead. We are still in Psalm 1 and we should be finishing that up between this week and next week. I do want to, if you have your Psalm 1 book, we're going to be in day 20 today. That's what we're going to be looking at. And I want to start by reading Psalm 1:5 just to remind you where we're pulling all of this from. So it says, "Therefore the wicked, those disobedient and living without God, shall not stand justified in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Those who are upright and in right standing with God." Now, we've been talking for a couple of weeks that there are two definite groups of people that Psalm 1 is talking about. We have the blessed one, we have the ungodly, those who are, as this verse says, disobedient and living without God. And I see this psalm, these last few verses, as such a cry of the Father's heart for salvation, that he is begging, pleading his case, as we have read already, to come. Don't be those wicked and disobedient, the ungodly, living without him. So I want to read today several verses from Romans 5, and I'm sure that you are familiar with this passage, but it fits so perfectly into what we've been talking about in God's call and his desire for us to come to him in salvation. So Romans 5, we're going to start in verse 15. "But God's free gift, his free gift, is not at all to be compared with the trespass. His grace is out of all proportion to the fall of man." And honestly, we could stop right there and that would be enough to just dig into that what Jesus has done, God's free gift of salvation. Again, do you hear the heart of the Father calling his free gift of salvation? Is not at all to be compared. It's not even comparable. His grace is out of all proportion to the fall of man. What Jesus did and what Jesus accomplished by offering himself for you and for me is out of all proportion to the fall of man. More than enough to redeem you and me. More than enough to wash away, not just cover, not just hide, but completely wash away every stain of sin. Oh, his grace is out of all proportion. I love that. And of course, I'm reading from the Amplified Classic Version. So if that's not exactly what your Bible says, don't think you're in the wrong place. I'm reading from the Amplified, and this is Romans 5, verse 15. "For if many died through one man's falling away, his lapse or his offense, much more profusely did God's grace and the free gift that comes through the undeserved favor of the one man, Jesus Christ, abound and overflow to and for the benefit of many. Nor is the free gift at all to be compared to the effect of that one man's sin. For the sentence following the trespass of one man brought condemnation, whereas the free gift following many transgressions brings justification, an act of righteousness. For if because of one man's trespass, his lapse or offense, death reigned through that one, much more surely will those who receive, remember that ties in again from the John 1 passage, John 1:12, that as many as did receive and welcome him, he gave the privilege, the right, and the power to become children of God. So as many would receive God's overflowing grace and the free gift of righteousness, putting them into right standing with himself. They will reign as kings in life through one man, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the Anointed One. We're going to read one more verse, verse 18. Well then, as one man's trespass, one man's false step, and falling away led to condemnation for all men, so one man's act of righteousness leads to acquittal and right standing with God and life for all men. I think that passage is just so full and so powerful. And of course, we're at the 5-minute mark today, so this is where we'll stop. I encourage you, if you have a minute, take time to pause, go back and read those verses again. Romans 5:15 through 18, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.